So if you're not being persecuted for witnessing to the saving grace of God through Jesus, and there's only one way, and that's through Jesus. If you're not being persecuted, if you've never been persecuted, something's wrong. Something's wrong. You should have, if you're really saved, you should have been persecuted by your unsaved family members, your unsaved co-workers, your unsaved neighbors, unsaved online. Especially if you're online, they should be attacking you all the time because they're of the devil. The devil has to persecute. Just like Jesus was nailed to the cross, they're trying to nail you to the cross. Not that you're Jesus, but the Christ in you, the truth. This is a death cult. Adam and Eve dropped us down into the death cult. That's why Cain killed Abel, the death cult. It's a death cult. The gossip, the backbiting, the complaining, the using and abusing, the narcissism, the sociopaths, the greed, the sorcery, the witchcraft, the dark side, the rock and roll. It's all demonic. The whole system's demonic. Do you understand? The whole system's death. If you can't see it, I'm sorry. You get to the point. You'll get to the point in your life, if you're saved, and if you really do the meditation and the contemplation and the rightly dividing, you'll get to the point where you'll see that every system that man makes, yeah, you're supposed to do, don't get me wrong, you're supposed to do good and help other people. But every system that man makes, utterly fails. Utterly fails. One example would be, okay, so there's a library over here. Let me just show you the library. There's a library right over here. I mean, CVS is doing a scam on people. I mean, the managers at CVS are doing a scam on people. I mean, right there. I mean, really, seriously. Just Google CVS scam. They try to sign you up. I haven't heard anything bad about this company ever, but almost every other company has done some kind of bad scam on people. So here's the library. There's a lot of books in there. And you go in there and you can read 1,000 books, 10,000 books, but it would get you no closer to the truth. You might have a bunch of data points, and then when somebody gives you the gospel, you say, oh yeah, I read about that, and it might, all the puzzle pieces, but without the gospel, you're not going to get saved. You could go in there every day and read every book in there. It's not going to get you any closer to salvation, closer to God. Even the Bible says in many books is weariness of the flesh. Writing of many books is weariness of the flesh. You'll get to the point, I mean, really, I mean, look at the brick was painted, now it's peeling. Look at that sidewalk, even the concrete starts to wear out. Over time, when they first built these houses, these are probably really nice houses back then. I mean, there's a lot of square footage in that house. And so, look at the fence falling apart. Look at the grass coming up through the ground, through the concrete. It's raggedy. It's a raggedy place down here. Even in the richest neighborhoods, I actually do Uber all over the place, right? And there's one neighborhood, And these houses are probably $250,000. But their roofs are real steep. And you go in there and you see their roofs are full of junk. So the people living in the house don't know how to climb up on the roof and clean their gutters and clean the roof. And their roofing just looks terrible. Looks terrible. $250,000 house. And I asked one of them, I said, well, what do y'all do about cleaning? Why ain't nobody cleaning their roofs? And I don't remember the answer. Maybe it was too expensive or something. I don't know. Maybe it was, I don't know. It seemed like it was during COVID or something. I can't remember what she said. But it's like everybody's wanting stuff, but they don't know how to maintain their stuff. Whether it's your air conditioner, filters need to be cleaned once a month. Roofing, gutters need to be cleaned. I mean, there's so many things when it comes to maintenance that most people, they fall by the wayside. There's no way. I know I do. I can't keep up with it. It's a lot. But it just goes to show that this place is the man-made stuff just goes to the ground. But look at the trees. They just keep growing, and the bushes and all that stuff. And you can cut that grass and it'll grow back 2 weeks later and be there. There's unlimited resources, but man makes something and it starts to cost him money. He builds a car, right? Then he needs tires. Then he needs a battery. Then he needs a new transmission. Then he has to. It's like everything that man does. It's like he's going into debt. You know, he's going into debt, but his whole thing was to make life easier. So all the technology was to make everything easier, but it makes it more complicated. If you remember, the programmers, they would actually, when they first started programming, they were actually asleep. They would have the programmers sleeping at the office when they were first started that programming. They sleep at the office. All they were doing is programming, sleeping at the office. Working them programmers 24 hours a day. They sleep, wake up, go to program. It's like, they probably still do it. I know Elon Musk wants his people to work themselves to death. But I thought technology was to free man up, you know? I thought technology was just to bring in freedom for everybody. But everybody's becoming more of a slave. What's that about? Because every system that mankind makes, he ends up destroying himself. Unless he knows how to manage and maintain, he destroys himself. Everybody worshiped that, what was her name? Kathy something, or she was a hedge fund manager and she was making all this money. And then it crashed. I saw somewhere she sold everything. I don't know if it was true or, you know, people just say whatever. Said she sold everything. She don't know what she's doing. She's taking your money, telling you that she's a great investor, that she's just stealing your money. You could probably do better with your own money. Buy you some property or something. It's all a scam. It's all, I mean, think about it. Okay, so all in movies, you know, people come up here and spend money on these movies. They're all the same. If you watch one Emily Blunt movie, you've seen them all. All her characters, she's blunt. If you watch one love story, you've seen them all. If you watch one victory story, you've seen them all. If you watch one horror movie, you've seen them all. Come on. How can you not see it? How can you not see it? When you watch one time travel movie, you've seen them all. How can you not see it? When you drink one bottle of water, you've seen them all. 3 different kind of bottled water right there. 3 different ones. What's that about? Look at that. Look at that. Surgeon General's warning. Smoking by pregnant women may result in fetal injury, premature birth, and low birth weight. Why do they care? They believe in abortion. Surgeon General believes in abortion. Fetal injury. Am I looking at that right? Is that $13.92 a pack? What? $6.36. If you got that much money to spend on cigarettes, I know people go through them a week at a time. If it's $13 a pack every week, $10 a week, that's $520. That's almost $1,000 a year on an addiction. Blows your mind. Blows your mind. But anyway, they put stuff in your face. There's the M&Ms. There's the movies. There's the cigarettes. What else are they putting in your face? Everywhere you go. And then they also put these regulation signs up here. Regulatory signs. Come in and buy this, right? But then, don't stay too long, because that's loitering. We're your best friend, but the law is watching you. Death cult. Come in here and watch these movies that don't tell you nothing about truth. Smoke that and get brown lung. Get that and get BP poison. It's all a death cult, people. And I'm not trying to be negative. I mean, there's life right over there. The trees. There's life right there. But when you walk in here, it's death. The beer cooler's over there. It gives you cirrhosis of the liver, right? Place is full of sugar. You walk into the box, the cube building, and it's death. You step out here and you see life in the trees. Life, death. Life, death. You go into the entrance and you go into a trance. Every building has its own personality. Life, trance, death. Advertisements. You got to have this. Life, cube. Space, cube. No wonder Indians lived out in a teepee. They were free. They knew more than we know. The Indians knew more than we know. It's sad, ain't it? It's really sad.